it's very easy to identify with the resistance, to side with the resistance. It makes a lot of sense to you.
But
can
why
see
does it
you
make
can,
it people uncomfortable when it's in real life?
Because you're challenging yourself. You're going to challenge everything that
you're benefiting from.
That's what it is that you're benefiting from.
Assalamu alaikum everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Real Talk, Deen and Dunya. I am one of your co-hosts, Mustafa Talib.
And I'm one of your hosts, Abdurrahman Talib.
And I'm one of your hosts, Ayman Talib.
And we are going to be continuing the discussion of real resistance. This time we're going to be focusing on fictional stories that exemplify real life. And so let's go around and talk about what movies come to mind.
But before we do, I have gifts.
This is going to become a thing now. We're just going to have...
listen, I hope it doesn't. I don't know if I can afford it.
This is going to be... You guys are... I only have one job.
Okay. For you.
Moi.
And for you.
Is it at the same time or doesn't matter?
Well, I got one for myself too, so...
Oh. And go.
Okay. It's a mug.
It's a
nice. What? Dude.
That is so cool.
That is legit. Okay, hold on.
It's ceramic.
That is. Oh my gosh. You left the price sticker on there. Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's fine. It's fun though. Do these move? No, they don't move. Okay. But that's cool. Okay, I'm trying to show the here we go. That camera, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the Saturn V, and it's from it's called. They have rocket fuel on there. Mm-hmm. Nice, very cool.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
So inshallah, you can fuel your day. You're
gonna make me start drinking coffee.
Same.
You can put whatever drink you want in here.
Hot cocoa.
Hot
cocoa
with little tiny marshmallows on them.
Hot chocolate.
Mashallah.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. I thought about you guys when I went and saw the Saturn V rocket.
Oh.
Yes. 7.5 million pounds of thrust.
What movies come to mind when we think of resistance against the oppressing force?
Like resistance against empire?
Oh, really?
Hold on. I can put my finger on it.
This is the story of Star Wars.
Let's start with part 4. Star Wars.
Star Wars is the big one. And there's just
literally George Lucas said it in an interview with James Cameron that or rather James Cameron said, "You're representing the Mujahideen at the time." And he said, "Well, at the time it was Viet Cong."
And he literally said against American empire.
Yeah.
I mean, it's straightforward.
It's very like
empires,
in your face. It's right in your face.
And no apology about it either.
Yeah.
He's just like, this is what it is. Have at it.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think?
So, when the first movie came out back in 77, we didn't know anything about it. It was just like this thing. We're like, okay, like we start out there are these ships. Like, what's going on? We don't really understand. And then you kind of like get told, or through as the story progresses, you kind of like figure out what's going on. And there is this empire, and they're kind of imposing their kind of rules and regulations that seem to be oppressing people around the galaxy. Not just people. We're gonna say beings around the galaxy, since we're talking about a fictional thing that has aliens and other life forms in it. And as the story progresses, you start realizing that there are these characters that are fighting against that. They are literally
rebelling.
They're rebelling, and they even say like to crush the rebellion. And then from there we see the story expand into episode 5 where the Empire Strikes Back. Like, literally, that's the title of the movie. And then we see like the fall of the empire in episode 6, and then we see the beginnings of the empire when the prequel trilogy came out back in the 99 when the episode 1 came out, and we see the formation of all that stuff happening, and there was a lot of kind of subtle nods to things that were happening here locally in our own country. In fact, like there's a line from episode 3 where one of the main characters says, "This is how liberty dies," with thunderous applause.
Padme.
And Padme. So Padme's Padamame.
Padamama.
So yes. So
the mama of Luke and Leia.
Right.
Yep.
So when she says that, that's a subtle nod. I don't know if it was in an interview or if it was just a written piece or something, an opinion, but it was a nod to like what was going on was that the chancellor had kind of it was like, we're going to reorganize and restructure. We're going to become an empire now, and he's going to make himself the supreme
chancellor.
Well, he was already the supreme chancellor, but now he's an emperor because now we have an empire. And so it was like her words that she used there was kind of like it was verbatim in the thing that I read was about like, they're talking about the Patriot Act.
Right. The movie came out in 2005,
they're
but
doing
it was talking about in 2000.
They're talking about stripping people's civil liberties away.
Right.
In what's the phrase, like in exchange for at the expense of. We're doing this in the name of national security. I'm sorry, I meant galactic conquest, whatever.
Right. The parallels are plain as day there.
And then I know that you don't really like the sequel trilogy.
Yes.
7, 8, and 9. But and that's fine. But they changed from the rebellion after they won in episode 6.
Yeah.
The remaining fragments of the empire still continued on, and they were still able to
First
resurface.
Order.
And somehow Palpatine came back.
All of a sudden.
So I joke about that, and because people joke about that, and they're like, I can't believe they did this one line, whatever, blah blah. But there's actual like
truth to it.
There's a lot of truth to it because like, and you want to get into like the lore of Star Wars, which we're not going to do here. We might be able to do that at some other point. We're just talking about resistance in movies.
Yes.
They call themselves the Resistance at that point in the sequel trilogy.
Right.
The rebellion.
The rebellion has become the Resistance. Oh. And there was Star Wars Rebels.
Right.
And then there was even Star Wars Resistance.
Right.
Wow.
Which shows the early days of what happened in episode 7, 8, 9.
But when brown people are resisting their oppressors, they're the bad guys. They're the savages. They're the backwards people. Right?
Yeah.
Ironic.
No, that fits their narrative.
True.
Right. But anyway, back to the main principles of the matter. It's like you watch in Star Wars, what is now called Episode 4, A New Hope. At the time, it was just called Star Wars.
Yeah.
Didn't George Lucas actually call it The Star Wars?
The Star Wars.
The Star Wars.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but like on the movie poster, it's Star Wars. Anyway, the one first came out, and I've been seeing this thing passed around on the internet now. It's like, remember when Luke came home and found his home had been
destroyed?
Not just destroyed, burned, and found his uncle and aunt
killed
from the fire. And then later on in the movie, he destroyed the Empire and we all cheered. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was corrupted by this.
He was corrupted by an extremist religious
sect, whatever, something. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The story of Harry Potter is the story of Star Wars.
Just with crappier lightsabers.
Yeah.
With no sound effects.
No. Versus twirling a stick. What movie comes to mind for you, Eamon, when you think fictional resistance?
The first one that comes to mind after Star Wars, honestly, I mean, Star Wars is the one, right? Is the Terminator.
Right.
And I think that's more and more relevant these days with the development
rise of AI.
And, that's another reference to The Matrix. Like when Morpheus talked to, Neo about the rise as we gave birth to AI. right?
Yeah.
So as we're seeing it now, like, how fast technology is moving and the lack of privacy, right? And so there is this pushback on technology because to go with technology, that is going to lead a comfortable lifestyle, right? And so you have to get uncomfortable to push back on it, to resist it, all right? And what happens in the Terminator films, starts in the future, comes back to 1984, is that the machines have risen and now they are in charge,
Right.
and the humans have to resist
Right.
against that. So by the time Terminator, the fourth movie, which is considered the most unpopular one of the anthology, but I remember like this one line specifically that John Connor would repeat over and over again when he was communicating with everybody. He would say, "This is John Connor, and if you're listening to this, you're part of the resistance." And it was accepted. Like, this is whether
you like it or not,
we have
for
to,
your own, because they were all on the same page that in order for us to survive, we have to keep fighting back.
Yep.
And organize. And then I actually wrote a few notes, and you just quoted that one.
Oh, wow.
But specifically about Terminator Salvation, in my opinion, it's the most rooted in showcasing the armed resistance and seeing how internally and externally they are struggling, and that within the internal struggle, they had to go rogue to complete their mission and go out of the way, because within that
the framework.
Yeah, within that framework, they had to. They were being stopped, not having that vision to. If we do this, he said, if we stay the course, we are dead. We are all dead, right? When he's fighting back with his superiors, because they think, oh, we need to go this way, and to defeat the machines once and for all. He's like, no, you guys don't understand. And so, within that, the internal conflict, they come together, and I didn't hear that last message, right, as one of his comrades said. I didn't hear that last transmission, meaning we're with you, John. We know we are siding with you to put us through and complete it. And so
I think it's interesting that this is, I don't know if there's another example of what I'm about to say in the Terminator anthology. I don't know if it, like in other movies where there's resistance, there's always like this person who's kind of who's like a double agent kind of thing. They're always doing both, or they're kind of like, you know what I mean? Like for example, we talked about this before, but with with Braveheart, there were like the nobles who were kind of like on both sides, kind of supporting the freedom fighters or whatever. Ooh, did I say something? And they were, so they're doing it, but they're also sitting at the table of the oppressor, kind of like, whatever, like,
hoping to sit there,
hoping to sit there, right? Yeah. But here, there's no way for them to sit there because of the extreme prejudice from the oppressor, the machines.
Correct.
So I find that to be very interesting. You said something also that when you said rogue, I was like, I need to talk about this. One thing that we don't ever see, that I was so glad they made it, and if we ever get a chance to talk about just Star Wars as an anthology or whatever, or as a series, a saga, Rogue One, talking about Rogue One, because there was this untold story of all the things that led up to the rebellion finally getting a foot,
right?
Because when we see them, they're kind of like this like ragtag team of whatever, but then but then they're like, we have something, we finally have something, and it's because of the sacrifice of so many that we had no idea about. And we finally got to see that with Rogue One. And since, I don't know if you want to call it the popularity of that, but then they went into telling the story of Andor, and we have the show Andor now.
Season 1 and 2, yeah. Right.
So you can see that and how they explored that even more, and all the things that you would, that you have to go through in a resistance as you're taking on
the mighty empire.
The mighty empire. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Terminator, along with the Matrix. Actually, I did a little R&D as well, and there was claim. I don't know 100%, but there's the author of The Third Eye of the Matrix. I think that's the name of her novel, from the 1980s. Sophia Stewart. She wrote it, and her claim is that Hollywood read her book, stole the ideas, being precursors of The Matrix and the Terminator. Or Terminator is the precursor to The Matrix. Something to that effect. Or I might be reversing them. I found that fascinating. Just a fun fact. Yeah, that they're all both connected. The rise of, the machines, and then turning that into hardware.
Have you ever stared at it and marveled at its beauty, its genius?
You're such an idiot.
This guy is talking so slowly, which is kind of weird because he's a machine. He's supposed to be talking kind of fast. I don't know.
Very articulate. Shakespearean, almost. But yeah, I love the Terminator series from its beginning in 84, and then number 2 coming back in 1991, T2 Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you like it. It's the year you were born.
Yeah. and it was groundbreaking in technology as well, with using full character CGI integrated into films. But also the storytelling, the resistance. It's just fantastic all around. I love it.
V for Vendetta.
Viva la Revolucion.
Remember, remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason shall ever be forgot. This movie literally had a designated terrorist as the protagonist.
And we love it.
And we cheered him on. In fact, the graphic novel came out in 1980, something like that, right? So the Guy Fawkes mask and whatever, that was like in the back burner with in the comic book world, right? And then once Warner Brothers got its hands on it,
it was DC Comics.
And sure, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And once Warner Brothers made the film, then that was it sparked, the use of the Guy Fawkes mask in real life for social justice issues.
Right.
And something that I thought was really interesting. Guy Fawkes is a masked, designated enemy of the state. Guy Fawkes is not a person, he's an idea. And you can't kill an idea.
In the movie, he says, ideas are bulletproof.
Yeah.
But on that same thing, you just said something which has nothing, I don't know if it doesn't really fit into this, but it fits what we're talking about. When you said it's an idea, The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
When he talks about Batman, after the character of Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, Blake, John Blake, Robin. After John Blake. After he kind of figures it out and he kind of picks him up because something has happened and he's lost all of his money, whatever, and he needs a ride because he doesn't have a car and all that stuff. So they start having this conversation and he says, Batman is a symbol. The point of it was that anybody could be Batman. You don't have to be somebody special, just anybody could do it, and you can't kill a symbol. If you can, and even if you go back to the very first one in that series in the trilogy, in Batman Begins, if you can, what did he say? If you can commit yourself to a set of ideals, then you become something more than just a man.
Right.
You become legend, Mr. Wayne.
Wow.
And, back to Braveheart. When Longshanks was, obsessed with crushing William Wallace's rebellion, he was telling Hamilton and the other advisor guys, he was like, they were talking about how his legend grows. He was talking about how legend grows, and Longshanks is like, they're sheep, mere sheep, easily dispersed if you strike the shepherd. He believes that the rebellion will end if you destroy the person. Okay, but if the resistance becomes about the idea and not the person, then you can't kill the resistance.
Right.
Okay. We saw that with the Guy Fawkes. We saw that with the mask. We saw that with with V, right? And you see it nowadays on the news.
You see it in Star Wars, even when they start like literally like using the Death Star to destroy a planet, and then in the I know we're gonna come back to it, the sequels, as they use what was it called? Star Killer Base. I forget what it's called. I think that's what it was called. But they used that and they fired a single shot and it destroyed like 5 planets at once. It like went or whatever. And the whole thing was to show the might of Star Killer Base and to silence any ideas of resistance and whatever. But that didn't do anything.
Right.
It didn't stop a thing.
Right. And then from the audience, we see why the resistance is resisting, why they're pushing back, why are they fighting, why have they decided to make the difficult decision to take all the risks, including their own life, take up arms and fight against Empire. Even to the point where if they know that they cannot win, but they've got to try, right? So we as the audience are watching this and we're siding with them. Our hearts are with them. We're like, whoa, I buy into this mindset, to this concept, this idea. To the point that when a protagonist, like in episode 8, again, I'm not a big fan of the sequel trilogy, but whatever, it is what it is. To the point when in episode 8, when she realizes, Laura Dern's character realizes that they are going to die. It's over. Okay? And that she's got an opportunity to go down swinging and to take out as many of the bad guys as possible. What does she do? She turns the ship around and she goes on a suicide mission, knowing full well she's not coming back from it.
She uses light speed.
Okay? And
as a weapon.
Okay, and to strike at the enemy, even if she knows she is not going to come out of it alive. And we, the audience, cheered. Why? Because we believed in the cause. We don't get stuck on the method, right?
Yeah.
So when it happens in Ukraine, that a guy straps a bomb to his chest and uses it against the Russians, the world cheers. We see this, right? So, but again, it fits the narrative. It fits the mold, right? But when it's a brown person,
right,
or the other that does the same exact method, but your problem is they're not on your team, or they don't fit your narrative, and so you say, "Oh, those people." The other, their religion, their skin color, those people, those savages, those barbarians, those terrorists, that language that's used, right? So that's what it is.
There's a quote that I was going to say from The Last Jedi that Poe says near the end of the movie. He says, "We are the spark that will light the fire that will burn the First Order, or that will burn the First Order down."
Wow.
Late in then, like around the same time, Kylo Ren confronts Luke Skywalker, or at least what we thought was Luke Skywalker was actually just a projection of him across the galaxy.
Still him.
But it was him, yeah. And he says, "The resistance is dead, the war is over, and when I kill you, I will have killed the last Jedi." And Luke says, "Amazing. Every word of what you just said was wrong."
Another film or series, The Hunger Games.
Dude.
AKA Ramadan.
What?
The Hunger Days.
Oh, yeah. Ha, ha. Sorry.
Katniss Everdeen.
No.
3 fingers.
Three fingers. And this is precisely why those movies were banned in Syria at the time of their release, because of the revolution that was going on at the time. And it was the 3 fingers that was the symbol of the revolution. That and the green banner flag, the one that's flying today, mind you.
Right.
So
I'm not too familiar because It's been a hot minute since I've watched them. What do y'all recall from?
There's
Hunger
lots
Games?
of amazing elements. The empire, the authority, they are living lavish, too comfortable lifestyles, right? While the oppressed are divided up into districts and lived.
Each one specializes in something specific that serves the government, that serves the higher class and whatnot.
Yeah, and they are subjugated, right? And they're literally fighting to the death to see once a year to as a tribute, so that they remember their place, that they will not rise again. Now, what's interesting is that in the course of the movie, as all cameras are on Katniss, and on the Hunger Games, because of Katniss's behavior, her natural moments, her unscripted moments, when the cameras are rolling, think about Palestine, right? It makes the world that's watching the audience from the audience under the rule of the authority that are living a lavish, comfortable lifestyle, side with her, sympathetic to her, right? When she looks at the camera, and she's there when
something gets bombed or fire burned or whatever. She's like, "You did this. You see this?" And it's exactly opposite of what's supposed to be, shown, and it makes people go, well, "Okay, we
did this. This is our bombs. That's our tax dollars at work. That's us. We did that to you."
Wait, you just went to real life.
Yeah,
We're talking about fiction here.
am I? Are we?
Art imitates
Life. This is it. That's right. When Rue in the first movie, right, when she gets killed, right? Again, it's a product of this entire thing that the authority developed, and she was wrongfully killed. And when that was televised, the people of her district, that was the last straw. And they uprose. They started physically fighting, even though they didn't have arms. Yeah. They fought against the guards, and they started to. It's like, what else are you gonna take away from me?
I'll go back to say I'll take it even further and say go back to when Katniss's sister was selected, when she was chosen, and Katniss went, I volunteer as tribute. That in and of itself was, everyone's like, oh, wait, hold on. Even the authority was like, can she even do that? Like
breaking the system.
And that even got people going, well, wait a second.
Yeah. So those honest human moments, right? Right down to, her hairdresser, her hair and makeup guy, right? What was he doing? He gave her, he pinned the Mockingjay. The Mockingjay on her. He's like, shh, this is, right? He's telling her, I'm on your side on this, right? And the government picked up on it. And what did they do? Right before Katniss went into the Hunger Games, they took him out.
Yeah.
Why? Because their authority was being threatened by some guy. And that was enough of a threat to take him out. That's how insecure they are.
Exactly.
But that's the way that empires work. We have to crush any sort of semblance that is anything that looks like it's not going.
Oh, you mean like thoughts and ideas? So here we are.
Sharing our thoughts and ideas. Okay.
Yeah. Remember that thing? It was a Bill of Rights. I think it's the first one. The freedom of speech.
That one. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Rights. Bills of them.
Yes, a lot of them.
Williams.
Williams.
Rights.
Right? So when that speech is used to convey unpopular ideas, specifically ideas that contradict the ruling power, the ruling class, the government, right? So there are social consequences. That's fine. This is exactly how a democracy works. Debating ideas, right? Ideas get debated, and then people will make up their mind. The society will make up their minds based on that. When it comes to the government, the government cannot, in theory,
infringe upon
cannot give you consequences. They cannot take away your citizenship. They cannot put you in jail. They cannot, whatever. They cannot strip you of you. They have to enforce and uphold your rights, even when you're critical against them. Why? Because it's the right to an opinion and express that opinion. We debate those opinions in the public square. We are not shot and killed for those ideas. We are not arrested and thrown in jail and prison for those ideas. We're conveying ideas.
Back to V for Vendetta, the talk show host doing that episode, who's laughing now, funny man, right? Like that whole bit, just in addition to what you were saying, literally mockery of the authority.
Right.
The next day, beaten, arrested, possibly even killed.
And then we find out later on that he was actually killed, and the reason why, if you remember the reason why, after Natalie Portman's character is released from the prison that she was in,
right?
She asks V about him, and he says, no, unfortunately he was only going to be whatever, like this and that, but when they found a Quran in his home, like that was the straw. They said, that's it, it. Oh, Equilibrium.
Christian Bale.
And,
underrated movie.
Yeah,
very.
Because it didn't come out the same year as The Matrix, or
right after.
And it was like because of they're so similar in some ways. They were like, oh, well, that's a copy or whatever of that.
They implemented gun fu.
Yes.
Man, yeah.
But it was the same idea.
Yeah.
It is similar to this, this whole Fahrenheit 451 thinking way.
1984. Yeah.
Exactly. Where all these. A society is authoritative, and free thought, art is
culture
removed from the society, and the story is built around the resurgence of these ideas in the form of art.
To the point where even in the movie, at some point, he was at his desk and he just moved something, and somebody walking by said, "What are you doing?" And his response was something like,
efficiency.
It's about efficiency. This makes more sense to be put here. And they were like, but the fact that like they stopped what they were doing to address you changed something because you must have had a thought.
Yeah.
And they had like, there's like, what was it? Like they're out in public, and then there's like an announcement. It's time for your shot or whatever it was. And everyone just goes, whatever that was,
to suppress their feelings
and to suppress. And everyone everything was just very like,
and they criminalized expression of feelings. That's literally what Christian Bale's character got arrested for. Was because he went to the street after seeing the lady get executed. Right? He went into the street and he broke down. He started crying, and Tyrese Gibson's character comes out and he tells him, "You're under arrest for expressing feelings." Pa!
Wow. It's been a minute since I watched that, so I don't recall much, but I do remember the gung fu.
Yeah,
for sure.
Everybody was gung fu fighting.
So we see it when these are told in stories, even fictional, especially fictional stories.
It's very clear.
Yeah.
It's very easy to identify with the resistance, to side with the resistance. It makes a lot of sense
But why does it make it people uncomfortable when it's in real life?
Because you're challenging yourself. You're going to challenge everything that
you're benefiting from.
That's what it is, that you're benefiting from.
Exactly.
That's why.
It's very interesting times that we're going through right now, and we're witnessing and seeing. So
I at some point I'm going to show a video, or I'm going to post it or something of my classroom, and so I have a poster there of V for Vendetta, and so one of my students had asked about this. I said, "What is this about?" And I said, "Let me show you what it's about."
Can we pause there just for a second?
Yeah.
This movie came out in 2005. One of your students is asking, "What is this movie?" Here we are 20 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie is 20 years old. Ugh. How old are you?
And it's very scary.
Hold on. Are you ready? Toy Story.
1996.
1995.
95. Oh, no, it is 95
30-year-old movie. It's back in theaters at the time of this recording for the 30th anniversary.
Nice.
Wow.
Continue. Just pointing out how old we are. Go ahead.
So, I'm trying
student.
to right, my student. I was trying to think about the who was that guy, the president or whatever? Not the what was his title?
Chancellor,
The council, the
Prime
chancellor,
Minister, Prime Chancellor,
the chancellor.
yeah.
But he had he goes something through this, unity through strength. Strength. What was it? I'm trying to remember, but it was very
authoritative.
Very I'm gonna stretch my arm out a certain way.
Okay.
And stuff. I did not see that coming. So here's the thing. So I showed them. So I showed a clip from the beginning where there's that in the beginning of V for Vendetta. There's that clip of the news anchor.
Found it.
Who's the
strength through unity, unity through faith.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a third one. Okay.
Yeah. Go on.
Anyway.
Go on.
Right. And so, I showed him a clip, and it ends with I'm a God-fearing Englishman, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
And so they were just like, "What the heck is this movie?" I was like, "Look, it's rated R. We're 18." I said, "Cool. Why don't you go watch it on your own?" I'm not going to condone watching it, but if you wanted to watch this movie, they're like, "Well, we're interested. Where are we going to find it?" So they found it, and then they watched it.
Yeah.
And they came back, and they're like, "What the heck?
Yeah.
What the heck?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "It's scary." And I was like, "Yeah." And just to be clear,
What's scary about it?
they said it's not like something's coming out and with a knife, jump scare.
No.
It's not that. They're like,
The politics.
The world politics.
we're so close to that.
If not
We're
already in
so
it.
close to that, where we're being censored from what we can say. So they were saying, my students were saying that this is kind of wild. They're like, because I'm gonna use their lingo, it's giving 1984. And I was like, yes, it is giving 1984. For our audience, that means it reminds them of 1984. It reminds them of Fahrenheit 451. It reminds them of these situations, these fictional situations where there is no longer freedom of thought and expression, art, and so on. I remember I never actually read Fahrenheit 451, but I remember the tagline. I never had to read it in school. I never had to read it in school. I read Alas Babylon, which is
Was
something
it
to do with
banned
that.
by
But
that point?
No.
No.
These are banned books. So these are the orchestra books. I never understood banned books or banned. I was like, these books, I didn't get what they
Banished.
were. And then BANNED. But what they were saying was it was giving off a certain the tagline. The tagline for Fahrenheit 451 was the degree at which books burn, which is another way of saying this is where ideas die.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting is that, the age-old expression, those who do not study history are
Doomed to
repeat it. It is curriculum for us to read 1984, Fahrenheit 451, Animal Farm.
Animal Farm. I
Okay.
remember that, yeah.
It is curriculum. If you graduated high school, heck, if you went through 9th, 10th, 11th, not even graduated, if you just went through 10th grade, you've expected
You've read at least some of them.
You know about them. You read them. You studied it in school.
I remember my students last year when they started, they were like, they had the book, and I was like, "Oh, Animal Farm." I'm like, yeah, it's about these animals, this and pigs and whatever. And I was like, yeah.
No, it's not.
And then a couple weeks later, they were like, "What the heck is wrong with these animals?
Yeah,
something is wrong with their hair." And I was like, "Yeah." And then at the end of it, they said, "These pigs." And I was like, "These pigs." Except they're not pigs. They said, they're not pigs. I said, exactly. They're, And then you start thinking about the Crucible.
Dude. That needs to be
the Red Scare.
Required watching and reading all over again.
Man.
They were onto something.
Man, oh man, oh man.
Like the guilty by association. Forget guilt by association. Guilt by suspicion.
Suspicion.
Which, by the way, is another movie. Another movie you need to be watching. Guilty by Suspicion is a movie made about during the Red Scare. Robert De Niro played a director at that time in Hollywood, like the Red Scare that was
1950s.
Yeah, the phobia, if you want to use the word phobia, on people from Hollywood who identified as being communist. What today we would call them socialists, whatever. But the idea was that people were targeted because of their politics, right? Instead of coming to the table and discussing them and debating them in the public square, which is how democracy is supposed to work. Instead, here we're seeing the government is putting you on trial for your political thought. You see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's time to pack up your bags and head over to Antarctica.
Where?
Look, if you go there during the summertime, I heard it's quite nice.
No. Surf's up. So freezing. Summer.
Great movie.
All right.
Anything else coming to mind before we wrap up?
I think we had a lot of good examples today.
I think that was a great example that
So-
we can all learn from.
Yeah.
That art imitates life, but to also,
I think the main
the main takeaway should be it's a warning, but also like, hey, wake up, look around you.
Yeah. And
Pay attention.
The main takeaway is that if it's hard for you to, at the very least, speak out against it, right? Then know that you are benefiting from it.
100%. 100%.
Decolonize your mind.
Dude.
Decolonize your mind. Absolutely. And with that, we're going to go ahead and end this episode. This was a great discussion. I hope y'all enjoyed this. If y'all did, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you hit that post notification down below. I am one of your hosts, Mustafa Talib.
And I'm one of your hosts, Abdurrahman Talib.
I'm one of your hosts, Ayman Talib.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Assalamu alaikum.